Back on the Frisco RoughRiders pregame show, we're joined by Jake Skole, who had a big night at the Dish last night in a 12-7 loss to Springfield. Jake, a multi-home run game for the third time in your career. You went yard twice last night, and I'd like to break down the two long balls if we could. First ball that you knocked out was to right field. It was an 0-1 count. What were you looking for in that situation at the plate?
Honestly, I wanted to stay on his heater. It was a fastball away that he got the first strike on. And it just happened to be a, mistake slider he left up, and just one of those things you aren't looking for that pitch, but you recognize it well enough to react to it and put a good swing on it, and it ended up leaving the ballpark.
It was your first at-bat of the ball game. Are you typically in that mindset, in that situation, an 0-1 count, first at-bat of the ball game, you're looking to stay on a guy's heater?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, most of the guys we face will throw off their heater. We face some good arms in this league, so you never want to be caught guessing on the other end of a 94, 95 mile an hour fastball. But so I mean, it's something you kind of want to lay off speed early, ideally. There's pitches they throw that look like fastballs that end up being out of the zone that you'll chase, but other than that, you try to hunt heaters until you get two strikes. Try to battle good off-speed pitches and good fastballs.
And that pitcher, too, Jonathan Cornelius, was a lefty, and the first 10 outs that he made last night were via the strikeout. So you clearly were able to pick up his delivery or his release point a lot better than some of the other guys on the team. Why do you think that was?
I noticed a little bit. I didn't realize what was getting our guys so off balance until I got on deck and noticed he was real slow, wind up with his leg kick, and then kind of quick to come down. And I think that turned his upper 80s fastball into maybe a little harder for guys. So I was just kind of trying to make sure I was down early with my foot, and I think that helped me see the ball a lot better.
The second home run, an entirely different scenario, really in every sense of the word. It was against a right-handed pitcher, and you had a 2-0 count, and then you punched it to the opposite field. A 2-0 count, though, that's really any hitter's best friend, right?
Right, that's a count. You're looking, one pitch, one spot, something that you can really drive and handle, and you definitely want to be ready and on time for a fastball in those 2-0, 3-1 counts. So it just happened to be a drivable pitch, and got good wood on it, ended up flying out to left.
Take us through the mechanics of going the other way like that, though. It seemed like it was more of a reaction instead of just getting a ball in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, it was like I said, the count was 2-0. I wanted to get a good swing off. We were down in the game, so I didn't want to make a soft out. I wanted to get a good swing off, and just the pitch ended up being a little away, but it was a drivable pitch for me, and just was still extended through the ball and ended up carrying out.
You mentioned that time in the hitter's circle in the first at-bat before you knocked one out of the park. You noticed a tendency of the pitcher. Is that generally a really important time for guys when they're in the on-deck circle to notice a pitcher's mechanics and tendencies and sort of get your mindset for the upcoming at-bat?
It is, and it's a really big advantage to take care of your on-deck swings and try to find out what your timing is going to be when you get up there. So it's like I said, I realized I'm going to need to get a little earlier than everybody else in the lineup was thinking. And, like I said, me getting down early, I think that's what helped me to see the ball, and I continued that the rest of the night and saw the ball pretty well all night.
As we mentioned, Jake, third multi-home run game of your career. You had one in Hickory, one in Myrtle Beach, now one in Frisco. Anything particular about the others stand out?
It's one of those things, and typically those multi-home run games, you'll get one early. And like I said, that swing I put on the first slider for a home run kind of just locked me in and gave me that confidence the rest of the game. It felt like I was on time. I continued it, and then, those are when the multi-home run games will come, when you get one early.
Jake Skole joining us on the RoughRiders pregame show. I happened to look at the scorecard last night, Jake, and noticed that only you and Wheeler Rodriguez were in the lineup the last time you guys faced Springfield way back in late May, early June. What can you say about the roster turnover? Of course, it's expected to a certain extent in the minors, but the fact that this roster has undergone so much change and you guys continue to play good baseball, what's that been like?
It's been, like you said, there's been a lot of different guys, but the guys that have left, the Odors and the Smolinskis, Sardinas have left us with so much knowledge to give down, and the guys that come up, Gallo and Alfaro and Alberto, some of those guys, they fit in right away with the mold of what we're trying to do, and the Rangers do a great job of, we've played with all these guys in spring training, everybody knows each other, so they come in and they fit right in right away. It's a pretty easy transition.
And overall, the chemistry of the team still seems to be pretty good. Of course, it always helps when you win, but ultimately the guys seem to get along pretty well. Yeah,
like you said, that's a lot easier when you're winning. But, everybody seems to get along. Nothing's really divided in the clubhouse. Everybody's kind of working for each other at the plate. You work for the next guy behind you. And we got a lot of guys that instill that, and it's hard to come away from that when you got so many guys that are working for the other guy and playing for the team and just kind of playing to win.
Jake Skole with us on the RoughRiders pregame show. And Jake, you look really comfortable out there in center field. There are a glut of outfielders on this team now, which again is much different than the case was at the beginning of the season when there were questions about who would fill the corner spots. Is it a challenge when you're not playing every day?
It is. It's obviously you want to be an everyday guy for your manager, and but you gotta come to terms with what the situation is. He's got guys that are great players that are ready to fill in at any time. So you gotta make sure you're ready. When your number's called, and you gotta be very cooperative, and you gotta be cheering on the rest of the guys. Or else it can be a long season for you if you're dreading every day off and just hoping to be in the lineup when you come to the field.
And 2 home runs last night, not in the lineup tonight. Are you concerned about how that might affect your mojo at the plate, especially when you were on a roll last night?
I'd be lying if I said it wouldn't. I'd love to be in there tonight, but I'm very confident in the lineup he's put together tonight. We got, 1 through 9 great hitters, whatever lineup he rolls out there. And just more excited to see what the guys do with the opportunities, and hopefully I get a chance to play tomorrow night, and hopefully I'm ready.
Obviously still 1 month left in the season, but looking back at the first 4 months, Jake, what aspects of your game are you pleased that have developed in a good way?
Yeah, I think, the defense is continuing to get stronger and stronger. I feel very comfortable out there in center field. And, at the plate, I think I finally found a niche where I can continue to work on this swing. Throughout my career, I've been changing a lot of things with my hands or with my feet at the plate. And I think I finally found something I can stick with, work on all off season, bring to spring training, and ride it out for the rest of my career.
Well, at the plate, Jake, your average was as high as it had ever been in the month of July, so we're certainly hoping that you can continue that upward trajectory over August and finish on a good note. Had a lot of fun watching you last night. Best of luck the rest of the season. Thanks a lot for your time.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
He's Jake Skole joining us on the RoughRiders pregame show. Back in a moment on the Riders Baseball Network.